You have 637 new messages.
Okay, so just as a reminder, masks are now optional on campus except in classrooms and laboratories, but otherwise, thankfully, we are pretty much back to normal.
So can we start doing lunches with leaders again?
Absolutely.
Will summer programs be virtual or in person?
In person.
How about a real live graduation ceremony?
Oh yeah, I love sitting on stage for hours like a potted plant. Just kidding, send out the invitations.
Oh, John, one other thing. Now that we're back in person, maybe lose the Zoom mullet.
And live, sort of, from Detroit, it's ZTF 3! Welcome to ZTF 3 Honors Unmasked, an online celebration to showcase the Irvin D. Reed Honors College and raise money for the Finish Line Fund, which provides scholarship support for honors seniors. You can participate by adding comments to the chat box throughout the event, and of course, by going to honors.wayne.edu/finishline to make a gift or pledge. I'm your host, Dean John Corvino. Good evening and welcome to ZTF 3 Honors Unmasked. ZTF stands for Zoom to the Finish, which is interesting because Zoom to the Finish has never actually been broadcast on Zoom. Some of you know a bit of the history of this. Back in April of 2020, we had planned a big in-person event at the Waterview Loft to launch the Finish Line Fund. And then, of course, in March of 2020, the pandemic hit, and we decided to postpone that event, and we postponed it again and again and again. But in the meantime, we decided we did not want to wait to raise money for student scholarships. So we had a virtual event and launched the Finish Line Fund, and then had a second virtual event, and this is our third ZTF. But this one is different in two very important ways. One is that this one actually includes some live portions. I am coming to you live right now at just after 6 p.m. Eastern in Detroit. If you are watching the 9 p.m. program, that will be a rebroadcast of this program, but this will give me the opportunity to check in a couple times throughout the show to let you know where we are in terms of our progress to our goal tonight. And of course, there will be a live chat box throughout for both the 6 p.m. Eastern show and the 9 p.m. Eastern show. The second big difference this time is that we had a remarkable team of student interns working on putting together this program, and they have put together a great program tonight. Last about 55 minutes or so. And before we get to that, and I know you're eager to see our students, let me just say a little bit about the Finish Line Fund. I have this dream that someday the Irvin D. Reed Honors College at Wayne State could be tuition free. What a great incentive that would be to bring outstanding students to Wayne State, keep them here. That is a big dream with a huge price tag. But suppose we start with the senior year. Suppose we had a free senior year so that you know that if you came to the Irvin D. Reed Honors College and worked really hard, by the time you get to your senior year, you don't have to worry about taking on extra debt, taking extra hours at your job. You can instead focus on preparing for graduate school, professional school, or career. Well, that also is an expensive dream, but it's doable. But we have to start somewhere. And the way we've started is with $1,000 scholarships for as many students as we can award them to. And in our inaugural year, we awarded 6 of those scholarships. This year, we awarded 10 of those scholarships. And we're hoping to keep building and building that, but we can only do that with your support. These scholarships make a big difference to our students, but you don't have to take my word for that. We have a short video with some of our inaugural Finish Line scholars talking about what the scholarship means to them. Let's watch.
It does seem like a lot of scholarships are focused more toward new students and those in the middle of their education, so I was really excited that it was for seniors. Obviously, the pandemic has been a little crazy, and it's especially crazy for my family because my dad is taking chemo right now. So we all had to kind of cut back our hours, and he got laid off for a little while. And I was actually worried about how I was going to pay for the rest of this semester because my loans didn't cover all of it. So having this extra fund was just just took a lot of stress out of everything. I didn't have to worry about being in debt more or having to pick up extra hours and put my family in danger. So it was just a huge load of stress off my mind.
You know, I'm a student. I work 2 jobs. One of them is being an RA in one of the buildings, that's resident advisor. And then also on the weekends, I would work as a nurse assistant. And so, you know, that took a lot of time away from me spending time with my family because I'm bouncing on and off of campus. And while I wouldn't trade it for the world, being able to receive the Finish Line Scholarship from the Honors College allowed me to reduce my hours as a nurse assistant and take things a little bit slower and spend time with my family, because that's the most important thing, I think, during the pandemic.
Being mindful of cost in college has been something that's been at kind of the back of my mind the whole time. I'm the youngest of 5 siblings, and so we have a big family, have a great family, but paying for college has been kind of something that's been our responsibility. Like a lot of times each semester when we look at the tuition bill, we get kind of like overwhelmed as students and just like, wow, it's such a big number. Like, how am I going to pay for that and everything? I think just kind of, oh, I'll pay for it later. But that's why I was so thankful for this scholarship opportunity because, you know, some might say, oh, $1,000, like, what is that going to do in the long run? But the fact is, like, that actually goes very far.
So getting the Finish Line Scholarship in the fall 2020 semester, that opportunity is really helpful right now, especially with COVID. There's been fluctuating issues with working and as a full-time student trying to work and deal with the stressors of the pandemic. That Finish Line Scholarship just came at really the right time.
Going into teaching, I have my student teaching that I'm doing right now. So I had my pre-student teaching and student teaching. And student teaching for the last semester is 40 hours. And so with that, I was trying to juggle that plus 2 other classes and then trying to hold a job. So I actually had to let my job go. But because of that, that was making me very nervous to have so little of an income for so many months. So seeing that I actually got the scholarship, that was a huge relief because it made it easier in terms of juggling if I had to maintain the job or not.
So, you know, this year has been really tough on a lot of people. Personally, I was not working in the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, and I was actually laid off from my job. And so the ability to get this scholarship, and then as well as the support that the Honors College has given us, has been so relieving, not only for me, but for all the recipients, and it has really taken a weight off our shoulders.
I just want to say thank you to my donor for the Finish Line Scholarship. Each student that applies for scholarships, they're applying for a reason.
I just really want to express my gratitude for this. It's not every day that someone just gives you, a $1,000 scholarship. It's really a selfless act.
I cannot stress how thankful I am to all the donors that have already donated, and a future thank you for anyone that decides to contribute to the Finish Line. You've definitely inspired a lot of us to go forward and pay it forward.
Thank you for being able to help me out with this. Sure, it's hard to see the actual appreciation from the other side of it, but from this side of it, I very much appreciate it.
I just can't overstate how thankful I am for the donors that stepped in, and encourage whoever is thinking about it to maybe donate because these scholarships can go a long way for students.
What a remarkable group of students. And you can help students just like them with your gift to the Finish Line Fund, especially tonight, because not only is today Giving Day, we have a generous match challenge tonight. Dr. Bob Kelch, a graduate of Monteith College, which was a predecessor to the Irvin D. Reed Honors College, and his wife, Jerry, are offering a $30,000 match challenge for gifts given on Giving Day. That means your $100 gift becomes a $200 gift. Your $200 gift becomes a $400 gift, and so on, for gifts given today. So please give generously, and thank you to Dr. Bob and Jerry Kelch. One of the great things about being at a research university right in the heart of Detroit is that our students have the opportunity to engage with the city. And there are a variety of ways that they do that. There is the Applebaum Emerging Leaders Program, supported by a generous gift from Applebaum Family Philanthropy. There is the Rocket Tech Summer Internship Program. There is the Detroit Fellows Tutoring Project, and more. And all of these are ways in which our students learn from and engage with the city around us. But sometimes our students just like to get out and have fun in the city. And that's true for Veronica Gowris, who made this video about her time out and about in Detroit. Let's watch.
Hello, my name is Veronica Gowris, and I am a senior studying both marketing and public health at Wayne State University. Throughout my college career, I have been taking a lot of aesthetic videos that I have been recently compiling into TikToks and Reels for Instagram. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Sophia Munlapit. I'm a second-year biomedical engineering student here at the Honors College. Today I will be playing a shortened version of Tarantella by Pietranka. Thank you for listening.
A biomedical engineering student who plays the piano masterfully. Later in the program, you'll get to meet a chemical engineering student who also designs clothes. These are the kinds of multi-talented students we have here at Wayne State in the Irvin D. Reed Honors College, and I am so delighted to get to work with them every day. Another one of our multi-talented students, Kamali Clora, just graduated recently, and he went through the process of applying for graduate school, which is a very familiar process for our students. Over 70% of our honor students go on to graduate or professional school, which is one reason I want to take the burden off of them in the senior year so they can focus on that rather than stressing about extra debt during that time. Anyway, Kamali made a short video about that process, and we thought you'd enjoy it. Let's watch.
Whew. So 2 weeks ago, I submitted my graduate school applications, and I feel like making videos is helping me kind of cope with the whole process. I applied to 6 schools. I applied to the Columbia Mailman School of Public Health, the Yale School of Public Health, Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, UCLA Fielding School of Public Health, University of Michigan School of Public Health, and the Cornell University Sloan Program in Health Administration. So, I'm hoping I land lucky in one of those. Whoa. I just got done with my UMich interview. My first interview, and it went really
Jeff! Bro! Look. I got in. I got in, bro. To Yale!
I think I finally know where I'm gonna go to grad school. It was certainly a long decision, and man, I was really lost for like a good whole month. But everything finally clicked. To be honest, I never thought I'd get this far. Ultimately, I did receive offers from UCLA, Yale, Columbia, Michigan, and Hopkins, and then my rejection from Cornell. Let you all know where I'm going.
Hey, I'm a hot girl telling. Bring 'em up, front the back, they yelling.
Yes, I'm going to Yale. It's crazy. Like, I'm still in shock. I'm just so thankful. Like, I'm thankful to my mentors and my family. Like, every step of the way, it was just a constant leaning. And my support systems were everything. Really wanted to send this message to, people who look like me and other minority groups. Like, this is accessible. This is a possibility. And I want to be a resource. I chose Yale because I really favored the smaller cohort. I had great experiences talking with alumni and professionals and like professors of the program, current students. And I really loved the flexible curriculum. Being able to take courses at the Yale Law School, School of Management, School of Public Health, and everything. And also, the job outcomes, they were going to be great in either program I chose, but I felt like I really had the most opportunity for optimum growth here at Yale. So excited for my next steps. Reach out, and I'm happy to help. See you on the next one.
Get your money, man. Life goes on.
I'm hopeful, yes I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it. Let it take you away and be hopeful, and he'll make a way.
You don't need to take my word for it. There have been a number of recent studies on this. Both Third Way and CollegeNet. One of the important things about college is social mobility, the opportunity to advance economically compared to where our parents and grandparents were. Wayne State is exceptional when it comes to social mobility, but you don't need to take my word for it. There have been a number of recent studies on this. Both Third Way and CollegeNet rank Wayne State as 6th in the nation on social mobility. US News and World Reports ranks us 1st in Michigan. What that means is that a Wayne State education is an exceptional value that gives students a lot of opportunity. It also means that when you contribute to student scholarships at Wayne State, you get a lot of bang for your buck. So please give generously and support our students. Our students go on to do great things, and we often don't have to wait long to see them doing great things. Consider Aliana Shakan, a 2019 graduate of the Honors College, who is currently in Wayne State's law school and who has been working on this amazing diversity initiative, Lawyers Look Like Me. Let's watch the video.
When you think of what a lawyer looks like, you probably don't imagine someone that looks like me.
Or me.
Or me.
Or me.
Or me. Or me.
The students at Wayne State University's law school are trying to change that. The Lawyers Look Like Me campaign aims to send a message that the next generation of Michigan lawyers come from all different backgrounds. Join us in sending this message that lawyers look like me. Like me. Like me. Like me.
Like me. Like me.
Like me.
Like me.
Like me.
You know, speaking of Wayne State's diversity, one of the things I've always loved about Wayne State is that it's diverse in diverse ways, including age diversity. In fact, right now, we have a mother and daughter both enrolled in the Irvin D. Reed Honors College. Let's watch their story.
I am studying communication studies, and I'm a senior. I'm scheduled to graduate in December of 2022, and I'm very, very excited about that. I am the assistant to the associate deans for the College of Engineering. I had come from the School of Medicine, and I started here in early August. And so I don't have quite a year yet under my feet, and I'm still in the learning process. The decision to go back to college has been one that I've been thinking about for probably 15 years, but I never really had the opportunity. And then when I started working for Wayne State in 2017, a couple of people said, "Oh, are you going to finish your degree?" And I thought, well, and then in 2019, I ran out of reasons, and I decided it was time. And I enrolled, and here I am.
My mom is a big influence on my decision to go to Wayne State. And like Wayne State does have a good reputation in the community.
I started here in 2017. So Sophie would have only been 14 and Sal was about 11 or 12. And in April, the university offered what's called a Bring Your Child to Work Day. So I would always bring the kids here. And, you know, they were a little bit older than some of the kids on campus, but they had a lot of fun, you know, going to the bookstore, picking out shirts, and they really liked it. And they got to know the campus, and they got to be comfortable with the campus. So when Sophie decided to come here to go to school, it was kind of a nice transition because she had been coming here for several years under that Bring Your Child to Work Day. I love having her here. It's just kind of comforting to know that she's going here too, and I think she's comforted by the fact that she's got a soft place to land if she's having a bad day. So I really like having her here. She was invited last semester to become a member of the Honors College, and I think she's going to find the resources very useful for her program as well. My son is a junior in high school, and he's starting to think about what he would like to do, and he knows that he'll be coming to Wayne State as well. When the pandemic started, by April, it appeared that it wasn't going anywhere anytime soon, so I transitioned one of the bedrooms to an office and gave us both new desks and decorated it with plants and desk pads and things like that to make it comfortable.
I prefer being in my own space, so with all my things around and the dogs, Libby and Siki.
It was a good move. And it should have been done because now, you know, instead of trying to do your schoolwork on a kitchen table or something like that where you just don't have a dedicated space, it's nice that when we go into this room, that's our dedicated space to do our schoolwork. It's been a long haul, and I've enjoyed it, but I think I'm ready. I'm ready to put on the cap and gown. I'm ready to graduate, hang the diploma on my wall. I'm so proud of myself because I never wavered and I never stopped. And believe me, there were times when I did want to give up. This has not been easy, but I'm proud of myself. I did it. I think we've gotten a lot closer. There's more of a sense of camaraderie and of mutual respect. And, you know, not only are we mother and daughter, but I think we've become friends through the pandemic as well.
I agree. It's more of a role model that school is you can always go back and finish. So I look up to her.
What a great story. I love my mom very much. In fact, she's watching right now if you want to say hi to her in the chat. I don't know that I could share an office with her, but I love her very, very much, and my dad and my whole family. And I thank all of you for your support. And I'm really excited to see Beth and her daughter walk across the stage at commencement. And we are doing live commencements again this May. So stay tuned for that. We are about halfway through our show and we are back live. I am here in my office. It is 6:30 or so Eastern time. And I just checked our honor roll, our leaderboard, and we are about halfway to our goal, over halfway to our $30,000 goal. We're at about $16,000. That counts gifts that were given today and gifts that have been given in the last couple of hours. The folks take some time to update the board, so I'm hoping to have a more accurate report to you by the end of the program, which should be close to 7 o'clock. But I am so grateful for people who are contributing to the Finish Line Fund and helping our amazing students. As you know, I wanted to thank you in person and celebrate with you in person, and we are looking forward to doing more in-person events. You'll hear about one of those events that's coming up next week, but we also want to do that event that we talked about at the Waterview Loft a long time ago. I'm hesitant to tell you this, but we've actually scheduled a date for it in September. I don't want to tell you because I don't want to jinx it, because it seems like every time we schedule a date for it, some new variant of the pandemic comes along. But I think we're going to be okay, but I'm not going to say the date out loud. I'm just going to write it on this piece of paper and hold it up. So please mark your calendars for our Finish Line event at the Waterview Loft. We're supposed to have the Detroit Youth Choir perform. It's going to be a very exciting event, and we look forward to seeing many of you there. There are so many amazing students in the Irvin D. Reed Honors College. I am so grateful to work with all of them, and I have really been touched by the ways in which scholarship support helps them. One of those students who received a Finish Line scholarship this semester is Joey Matar. Let's hear from Joey.
Hi everybody, my name is Joey Matar and I'm a fourth year dance major here at Wayne State University. I am so grateful for everything the Honors College has provided us over our degree program here. Specifically, one thing that stands out to me is the ability that the college provides us to sort of lay out the coursework that is required for each person's degree, and really take a moment to step back, think about what courses and what material is going to be most interesting to us, and they help us to carve out sort of deeper research projects, performance projects, or community service outreach that is specifically designed to go along with our degree program. And I think this is a great way for us to be focused on sort of the long term and where we're going with our career, rather than being confined to really specific guidelines that may or may not apply to each person's career here. So I really love how individualized the program is. I was also incredibly honored to be one of the recipients of the Finish Line Scholarship this semester. And I have to say, this monetary assistment for tuition is one of the greatest gifts you can give a student. Especially being in the performing arts, I think we've all realized over the past 2 years how volatile so many of these artist positions and these performers positions can be. So it has been such a relief to have a little bit less focus on figuring out how to pay tuition and more focus on the training that we're doing here, the studying, the networking, and specifically the attainment of job opportunities after graduation. So your support truly does mean the world to all of us here. Thank you. I am also super excited to be able to share with you all a trailer for a dance I have been choreographing for about the past year now. This piece is titled Between a Rock and a Hard Place, and it was created on 8 incredible dancers. It serves as part of my honors thesis research and my senior capstone for the dance department. I'd had the opportunity to perform 3 times. I previewed the work at a showcase downtown in Detroit, and then the work premiered at our capstone showcase here on Wayne State campus. And then the third performance was in New York City. The theater and dance department gives all of the senior students the opportunity to present our choreography and perform for agents, friends, alumni over in Manhattan, which was just an incredible experience. This piece is sort of about decisions that we make on a daily basis, whether they be big or small, how those decisions can be shaped by our environment, by who we surround ourselves with, as well as sort of the illusion of choice and how sometimes the idea of a choice can be a little bit more important than necessarily the decision or the outcome of the choice. So I hope you enjoy this little trailer / excerpt of Between a Rock and a Hard Place.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. Which choice would you make?
You know, I already mentioned that one of the cool things about being here at Wayne State is our connection with the city of Detroit. But we don't just approach the city as tourists. We believe in building relationships with the people around us. We believe in listening to and learning from those people. In short, we have a great tradition of thoughtful engagement with the city, initiated by my predecessor, Dean Emeritus Jerry Herring. And we're very grateful for that tradition, and we strive to continue it. One of the very cool things we are doing this semester is that 2 of my colleagues, Professor Beth Fowler and Professor Brian Ellis, are teaching a first-year foundational seminar based in the iDetroit project. iDetroit is a project initiated by photographer and artist Marcus Lyon, who came to Detroit, interviewed many Detroiters, chose 100 Detroiters to profile in this awesome book. And it's not just a book, it's an interactive video project. It is a genealogy project. Let's watch this short video about iDetroit, and then I'm going to invite you to a cool event connected to it.
The foundation of a Human Atlas project is the nomination process. The idea is to create a system, a process that searches for the voice of a space. So over a period of 6 months, and with the guidance and insight of a curatorial committee, we have reached out into the farthest corners of the city to find people who are nominated for their exceptional work. But what we've tried to do is, within the limitation of 100, we've tried to be as elegant in reaching out and finding as many people who represent as much of the city and the dynamic groups of people who are doing change here. This is a truly remarkable, generous, human city. This is a place where, despite all the preconceptions that people could bring to this town, this is a place of real generosity and real warmth.
All right. Sit down under from Australia.
So I mentioned that we currently have a course based in that project, but we thought, why keep this to ourselves? Why not share this with the larger community? And so we decided to partner with the Alumni Association. And next week on April 13th at 4 p.m., we are going to be hosting 5 people from the iDetroit project to come to Wayne State for a discussion of the question, what does it mean to engage thoughtfully with a city? And I will moderate that discussion. That again is on Wednesday, April 13th at 4 p.m. right here in the Bernath Auditorium of the Undergraduate Library. But there will also be a live streaming option for those of you who live far away or just prefer to watch at home. So we very much hope to see you at this event, the Arthur L. Johnson Urban Perspectives Lecture event. You can find out more about it on our events page. And if the event itself were not an incentive enough, we are going to raffle off 2 copies of this amazing book, which is a wonderful collection of profiles of great Detroiters and a really interesting project. One of them will be for the people in the physical audience, one of them will be for the people in the home audience, and all you have to do to be entered into the raffle is just to show up. So we very much hope to see you there, but don't go away. We have more student performances, more of ZTF 3 Honors Unmasked. You know, there are many different ways you can support the Finish Line Fund. If you'd like to make a big gift of $25,000 or more, you can have your own endowed Finish Line scholarship. That's something I did a few years ago for my 50th birthday. and you can pay it over time. Or you can sign up to be a Finish Line friend and give at least $1,000 a year for at least 3 years, and that will go directly to students rather than building the endowment. Or you can make a gift of any amount toward the endowment. But whatever you do, every dollar helps, especially tonight since we have the generous match gift from the Kelches. Now, I know it may be difficult to keep track of all the different ways you can support the Finish Line Fund. And rather than keep repeating myself, I have asked my amazing staff to help me talk to you about what the Finish Line Fund is and how it works. Let's watch. We have remarkable students in the Irvin D. Reed Honors College. They are thoughtful, hardworking, constructive, the leaders of tomorrow. The best way to attract, retain, and support such students is through scholarships. And that's why we created the Finish Line Fund.
Imagine how transformative it would be if the Irvin D. Reed Honors College were tuition free. Now I know that's a big dream with a big price tag, but suppose we start with the senior year.
Think about it. If you come to the Irvin D. Reed Honors College, then your senior year tuition will be paid for, and you can focus on graduate school, professional school, or your career instead of taking on an extra debt.
What a great incentive that would be for our students, but it's got to take money. We can do it with your support.
In the meantime, we've got to start somewhere. The Finish Line Fund launched last year by giving $1,000 scholarships to 6 seniors selected on the basis of academic performance and financial need. This year, we were able to support 10 students.
We aim to keep growing that number until we can support the entire senior class, with the eventual goal of making the whole senior year tuition free.
Now, $1,000 may not seem like a lot, but it makes a real difference. It can cover the cost of books for an entire semester, or most of the cost of a 3-credit course.
$1,000 can save students from having to work overtime on weekends and instead allow them to focus on their studies.
The point is, every bit helps. So we encourage you to give to the Finish Line Endowment. It builds money in the bank and it creates interest in perpetuity to support our students.
Want to make a difference right away? You can give money to the Finish Line Expendable Fund, which instead of going to the endowment flows directly to students. You can even sign up to be a Finish Line friend, pledging $1,000 a year for at least 3 years.
Want to do even more? With a gift of $25,000, you can have your own named Finish Line Endowed Scholarship, and you can pay for that over 5 years.
But whatever you give, whether to the endowment or to the expendable fund, please know that it makes a difference in the lives of our students.
On behalf of those students, we thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, that video reminds me of something. I can't quite figure out what, but suddenly I have this strange hankering for a Biscoff cookie. In all seriousness, I want to take a moment to thank my amazing staff. You know, I like to say sometimes that there are 3 really cool things about being Dean of the Irvin D. Reed Honors College. 1, I have a pretty sweet office. 2, as you have seen, I get to work with amazing students. But 3, and this is a great privilege, I also get to work with amazing faculty and staff. In our last ZTF, we talked a bit about the amazing faculty, and I had an opportunity to honor them. This time, I want to give a special shout out to our staff, because they really have gone above and beyond on behalf of our students, especially in the last 2 years, which have really been challenging for us all. But people here really rolled up their sleeves and pitched in and made this a great place to work, even during the challenges of the pandemic. So on behalf of our students, to all of our staff, I want to say a heartfelt thank you. Earlier in the program, I also talked a bit about the great diversity at Wayne State and how really that makes this such a vibrant place. That diversity expresses itself in a variety of ways, including the wide variety of different student groups our students can participate in on the basis of their cultural, political, religious, or social interest. One of our students who participates in a Christian student group, Crew, recently went to El Salvador as part of her work with that group. Let's listen to her story now.
So Crew is a Christian organization on campus. Over spring break, we went to El Salvador and we partner with an organization called Filters of Hope. So Filters of Hope is dedicated to providing clean water for people and also providing the gospel, so physical and spiritual need. We were there for about 6 days, and each day we would go out into a different community. So the first few days was Santa Cruz, and we were assigned a community leader and a translator, and we would go to 3 houses in the morning, 3 houses in the afternoon. And it would just be like building a relationship with these families, getting to know them, and then also like provide them with these filters, and we'd install them in the buckets for them. Filters of Hope has a base there, so we stayed on a camp, and they picked us up from the airport and took us to the camp. And it was absolutely gorgeous. It was almost like what you would think of as like a kids camp. And we stayed in like dorm style housing, and they would provide our meals and everything. And then in the mornings we would go out, and at night we would go out and provide pass out water filters. We loved the families. They were so kind. A lot of them, when we would go to their houses, they would even offer us like fruit that they would grow in their backyard. They were so kind and hospitable, and we felt like we really made deep connections with them. And I know a lot of them would even hug us after. The families are so sweet. So this was my first ever experience with this. A lot of people before had experience within the States going and doing this kind of work, but this was my first time. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking, but it was ultimately very beneficial. I think it really gave me the motivation to go out and help people, because I know from a young age I've always wanted to help people. That's just something I've always been so passionate about, and it really gave me an idea of how I could use my knowledge from there and bring it back here. I know in Honors 1000 we talk about getting involved with your communities and trying to make a difference, and that was something that was vital to me. They've taught me to step outside of my comfort zone, not only get involved with my community but others, and it really motivated me to go to El Salvador and try and make an impact in Central America.
The folk song Jasmine Flower was composed during the 18th century and was one of the first Chinese songs to become popular abroad. The song's tune depicts the purity of love between young people by highlighting the beauty of jasmine flowers. Jasmine flower meanings and symbolism include love, purity, feminine powers, sensuality, modesty, hospitality, community, inspiration, and spiritual ascension.
We are coming very close to the end of our show, and I want to thank all of you who have contributed tonight in various ways. I know the folks in Central Development are trying to keep up with the Giving Day gifts. They are coming in fast and furious, so thank you so much for that. Last I checked, I think we were over $18,000 toward our match, but we still have a 9 o'clock show coming up in a little bit, and there'll be a live chat during that, although it will simply be a replay of the video of this show. And I've gotten some texts from donors. I know there are some things brewing, so I'm feeling pretty confident, and I am feeling very, very grateful. I want to thank all of the students who contributed performances: Richard, Emmanuel, Joey, Veronica, and Sophia. I want to thank all of those who appeared in our profiles. I want to thank our student intern team. Without them, we would not have been able to put together this amazing program. Delaney Lucas, Liliana Webb, Katie Stozicki, and Khalid Ali, together with the supervision of Professor James Buccellato. I want to thank our wonderful staff. I know I keep saying this, but I can say it over and over again, and it will always be true because they really are exceptional and outstanding, particularly as we've had the lead up to this show. Michael Seaton, who is controlling things, sort of is the wizard behind the curtain, and we would not be able to put this together without all of his hard work. Kevin Petrowski, Shannon Tucker from Central Communications team has helped us use the Wayne Live platform. We've had a few hiccups, but overall it seems to be going very smoothly, so thank you for that. Of course, I want to thank Dr. Bob and Jerry Kelch for their very generous match challenge and for their support to the students of Wayne State University over the years. We are very, very grateful. And I want to thank all of you, our friends, alumni, and donors. I very much hope to see you in person soon, perhaps at next week's Arthur L. Johnson Urban Perspectives lecture event, which we will have here in person on April 13th, Wednesday at 4 p.m. in the Bernath Auditorium, but we will also have a live streaming option for those at home. Whether I see you there or someplace else, please stay safe, take care, and we'll see you soon.